Hello and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. And now we're continuing this, and I'm afraid where this leads to. Nobody's outside, so we walk down the hallway. It doesn't seem like it's making her more at ease than she was in the classroom. Finally, I ask if she wants to just sit down. For a while we simply stay in place and wait for her to say something. Shizune tentatively rubs Hanako's shoulder a little, but there's no response. Eventually, she shakes her head a little when Shizune tries again. Both of us are looking at her, so we pick up on it immediately. Shizune's hand again comes to rest on Hanako's shoulder. As she awakens, her face lifting to two very worried and anxious people looking at her. She looks at us silently for a while. I'm initially worried she might freak out or do something extreme, but those fears prove unwarranted as her expression slowly changes from an almost lifeless blank state to a more normal withdrawn shyness. She wordlessly lowers her head, her eyes evasively moving to the side. She looks embarrassed, almost ashamed. I want to say something, anything to help. I can't though. I don't really know what just happened, or even what caused it. I feel helpless and ashamed of myself for not being of any use. Shizune sighs before looking at me. Even without words, I think I can tell what she is asking. I'll take Hanako to the nurse. Is that okay by you? I try to communicate with my intentions through hand gestures, but I don't feel like I managed to get through to her very well. Shizune makes a dreary face in response to my gesticulations, confirming my impression. She stabs her finger in the air decisively, first at me, then at Hanako, and then towards the stairs. She waits for me to nod before pointing at herself, then pointing at the door to the classroom. I get the feeling Shizune is much better at this than I am. I nod at her, since her plan is after all the same as mine. Shizune gets ready to make her exit, but she only leaves after looking at Hanako for quite some time. Are you okay with me taking you to the nurse's office? Hanako doesn't say anything, or nod, but she stands up in place by herself. And when I begin to walk, she obediently follows. I've read about people being catatonic before, but I think this time I'm seeing it for myself. I don't even know what catatonic means. I think catatonic is a state where you just respond to, where you just respond by acting, but with a blank face, without any... let's just write it down. That's what I have the book for. Even though it's not the book I'm writing in right now. She looks extremely tired. After everything that's happened, it's not a surprise. After Hanako silently takes off her shoes and lies on the bed in the infirmary, the nurse and I take our leave. He shuts the curtain behind us. We both take a seat, and I quietly and thoroughly go through everything that happened in quite some detail. I want to understand what happened, and the nurse has as good a chance as anyone of knowing. He nods throughout my explanation, his face looking troubled as I finished. And by the way, I forgot how I did him, how I voice acted him. So, sorry if he just feels off. It must have been Very troubling for you to have seen all this. No, this is weird. I am the nurse at the office. No, this sounds like Muto. It must have been very troubling for you to have seen all this. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. I get that she fainted, but I don't really understand anything about why it happened or why she's acting like this. He nods, but his face is clouded. You don't know either? Well, yes and no. It's complicated. I assume you've heard about the concept of patient confidentiality. Oh, concept of patient confidentiality at some point. This is a bit of a minefield in that respect. I'm going to put this pretty bluntly. This is a matter for Ikizawa, me, and her therapist. I move to protest, but think better of it. I want to deny what he says, but if I think this through rationally, what he says makes perfect sense. I understand. Good, good. I wish I could help you more, but I think what Ikizawa needs right now isn't somebody prying into her past or her emotions. She just needs somebody to be there for her. She needs a friend. For what it's worth, I think you've done well in bringing her here. Sounds like you and your friends dealt with the situation well too. I'd give you a lollipop or a sticker as a reward, but you might be a little too old for either. He gives a cocky grin, obviously trying his best to lighten the atmosphere. I'm not really in a laughing mood, but he does manage to get a smile out of me. Or maybe I should look his voice up. I think it was not that bad. Thanks. Do you mind if I stay here with Hanako? I appreciate the thought, but I think it would be better to let her rest for now. She'll be led back to her dormitory room this evening, so you could visit her then. I agree with him before standing. Feels like all I can ever do around the nurse is humbly agree to what he says. But it was the same with the doctors in the hospital too. The walk back to the classroom is a long one. My mind feeling heavy under the weight of so many things happening so suddenly. Even as I re-enter the classroom, I'm thinking about Hanako. My stomach feels like it's turning into knots while I think about how to deal with her. I still don't know what I'm going to say when I see her again. Thankfully, the class doesn't pay me much heed. There are a couple of questioning glances, but overall not many people seem to be very aware of what happened. Muto raises his eyebrows to get my attention when I pass by his desk. Nakai, I take it Ikizawa's in the infirmary now? Yeah, I took her there, and the nurse said I should let her rest. Muto nods, assuring me that I made the right call. He scratches his chin for a second before rising from his desk. Everyone, I want you to continue with the exercise. Nakai, I'll see you in the hallway, please. His speech is hushed, but overall he doesn't seem to be acting too differently from how he usually does. Being a teacher, maybe it's to be expected. As we go out into the hallway, I notice him taking a quick glance left and right to check if there are any students milling around. The hallway is nearly soundless, but I can't think of anything except waiting for Muto to speak. Nakai, what do you think the purpose of this school is? To cater to the needs of disabled students? Muto scratches his head as he shakes it. No, if we wanted to do that, we would have built a whole new school from scratch. One floor. Talking whiteboards. That kind of thing. Look around, Nakai. This school is about giving you all a future. that you would have been denied in regular education. Huh? Think of it this way. If we wanted you to graduate and go straight into a hospital, do you think we'd put in this much effort? The bluntness of Muto's statement temporarily stuns me, causing me to forget about the immediate situation. No. That's right. We want you all to leave here as useful members of society. Oh god, I think I'm not really that useful of a member of the society right now. I'm not quite sure I'm following you. I have high hopes for you, Nakai. You're possibly the first student I've had that gets my lectures. Oh, okay. That isn't something that a teacher should be admitting so freely. You could easily take your studies of science well into university. Have you ever considered that? I can't say I have. Well, what have you considered? For your future, that is. Wait, is this something I already did? No, okay. I can't say that I've put much thought into my future. For a moment, I'm distinctly reminded of Lily questioning me about the same subject. It's only been a little over 5 months since I was gasping for air on the ground. It's too soon to be thinking about the future. And besides, Hanako's problems seem much bigger to me right now. Muto gives a disapproving sigh before continuing. Think of this place as an opportunity. Here you have boundless facilities, good teachers, plus the added bonus of the nurse and his staff. You should be doing nothing but thinking of the future. Right. I know where he's getting at, but even I don't have any plans for the future at all anymore due to certain things that happened in my past. So I just try to get by day for now. Because I even have struggled to motivate me for anything or to be happy about anything or to have fun at anything. So yeah, thinking about the future for me is also not something I do very often. I just want to get on at least. I think I missed a lot in the past and I really have to catch up on a lot of things like social activities, which I'm also not really good at. Well, maybe I am good at it. I can't even say if I'm good at it, but it's hard for me to get into those social activities from the outside to interject me into something, which sounds really weird if you put it in words like that. Anyway, why am I always going on my nose? I'm always funneling on my nose. That's really it's just itching so much. As I raise my head to meet his gaze, a thought occurs to me. It's almost like Muto totally sidestepped the issue at hand. Excuse me, but why do none of the staff seem to care when Hanako skips class? I've seen you watch her walk out of class more than once. Shouldn't you at least say something? Well, Nakai, it's not really that simple. Every student here has special needs. If it weren't for that, then we wouldn't have a school here. For example, I wouldn't keep you in class if you were having trouble breathing, would I? But that's not... Muto cuts me off before I can even think about finishing my sentence. Ikizawa's case is very much like that, but instead of CPR or a pacemaker, what she needs is time and space. The faculty was made aware of this from the day she arrived here. Thus, whenever she feels she needs to leave classes, we let her do so. And even though she isn't a star pupil, she seems to pass all of her exams, so it hasn't affected her ability to study. Isn't that enough? I open my mouth to protest yet again, but I can't find a fault in his argument. While her condition does, at first, seem to be wholly physiologically, its worst effects have been on her psyche. Oh yeah, of course. It's not really the burn marks, but the traumata she traversed over with that. I mean, even I figured it out. It still puts me off though. Isn't he just passing on the responsibility for a problem? Surely she can't go like this for her entire life. I understand that you might not be used to this kind of thing yet. It's been a big change for you. That said, it's less than a year until graduation now. Maybe you won't have to get used to this school. If you keep your head down, I'm sure you'll do well enough in your exams. I numbly nod, more to simply acknowledge that I'm listening than out of agreement. I felt like I was getting used to this school, but it feels like it's just been thrown back in my face. But what about Hanako? I believe, well, I hope that she will perform well enough to do what she wants to do. What that is, I don't know. Not all students leave school with an idea of what they want to do, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm someone like that. He takes care to emphasize the last word, as if it wasn't quite clear enough already. It gives me a moment to mull his words over. Today's been a troublesome day for you, and I doubt you'd be able to concentrate much anyway after all that's happened, so I allow you to take the rest of the day off. Your grades have been good in this class so far, which makes me think you won't have any trouble catching up on what we've been doing. He gives a small smile along with his praise, as if to make up for the seriousness of his lecturing before now. Go, collect your things, and I'll see you tomorrow. Right, thank you. Mutu's roundabout speech has left my thoughts scattered. I'm still not any closer to working out what I can do to help Hanako. If anything, and my mind is all the more confused after what Muto said. I'm also still bothered by the fact that Hanako was helped at least as much by Shizune, her enemy by proxy, as by myself. But I don't know whether that is just male bravado or a genuine concern. I really don't got that sentence at all. Well, the most of it, but not everything. The last part I didn't really get. While I collect Hanako's and my things from the class, I continue to try and sort out my feelings. I want to say that I understand her, that I'm there for her, but while I might have been able to say that just yesterday, I can't say it now. I wish I could. I lay on my bed, trying to collect my thoughts. After Hanako's panic attack, I found myself fundamentally reassessing the relationship we share and what I know about her. I had a hard enough time dealing with 4 months in the hospital. One look at her scars tells me that she was in one for a lot longer than I was. I'm so sorry, I get sloppy. Be that as it may, I know next to nothing about her past. She has told me about the house fire, but only in the most basic way. And what of her family? I still haven't asked Lily about them. There hasn't been a good opportunity to bring it up. I don't know where she grew up or what her old school was like, nor of her past friends, her wishes and ambitions, not even her tastes in music, food and movies, all the little things that I knew about all of my old friends. Just what have I been doing for all this time I've been with her and Lily? Oh god, I haven't even thought about it. In the distance, I hear the bells signaling the end of classes. With any luck, Lily will soon realize that neither Hanako nor I are around and return to the dormitories. My mobile phone starts to ring, cutting my thinking short. It quite startles me, as I've rarely been called since coming to Yamaku. Oh god, a cell phone. Hello? Hisao Nakai speaking?
Oh, Hiso, I'm glad I found you. You weren't at any of our usual places, though I thought this would be the fastest way to contact you.
I probably should have guessed it would be Lily, as she's one of the few people I've given my number to. Even through the phone, her voice sounds slightly on edge. Hanako and I left class early. She had some kind of panic attack. The line goes silent. If it weren't for the background static, I would have thought Lily had hung up on me.
I understand. Could you come by my room? I'd like to talk with you.
Sure, I'd appreciate the chance to have a bit of talk, actually.
Good. I also have some bad news. I think we should discuss this in person.
God, I still have this fucking green screen trouble. You see that in my eye? That shouldn't be there. Fuck! I thought I sorted it out, but it seems to be inevitable because of the color and whatnot. Whatever. It gives me a really demonic look. I like that. It's hard to grasp. Is it still there? Yeah, of course. It's hard to grasp the seriousness of the situation from Lily's tone. She sounds so calm most of the time, but that could be a good or bad thing, depending on how you look at it. Okay, I'll be right there. I collect Hanako's school things from my desk and head straight for Lily's room. Actually want to see something. Yeah, if I would directly look at the camera, this is so annoying for me. I rub my knuckles on her door and she soon calls me in. Lily sits. Oh, the music. It's a little bit quiet though. Lily sits at the table inside her room, looking a little worse for wear. I guess that's because of the bad news. Following her gesture of invitation, I sit across from her and lay Hanako's things on the table.
Well, there's no point in either of us waiting. Would you mind going first, Hisao? What happened today?
My memory of the incident is already beginning to fade, but I explain it as best as I can to Lily. Inviting Hanako to work with the group. Shizune and Misha's questioning our foray to town getting discovered, and the subsequent panic attack. I add Shizune's reaction almost as an afterthought, but Lily seems to take some kind of comfort in hearing about it. I guess rivals don't become rivals for no reason. There must be some history there, but now isn't the time to explore it.
I see. She had said her therapist sessions were helping, but I had my doubts. It's quite a shame. Her birthday has caused problems before, but I had hoped that she would have improved with you around, and the more intensive therapy. Where is Hanako now?
Last time I saw her, she was in the infirmary. Guess she's gone back to her room by now.
She wasn't in the library or the tea room when I checked, so I can only assume that too.
You said you also had some bad news. What's the matter? Does it concern Hanako? Lily shifts her position. The body's way of saying she's searching for the right words.
My aunt has fallen gravely ill. I'm afraid I'm going to be heading back to Scotland. to visit her and to spend some time with my family.
What? Is she alright? When do you leave?
I'm not altogether sure of exactly how she's faring at the moment, though last I heard she was stable. I'll be leaving Saturday. It's the first earliest flight that I could get.
Stable? That's code for needs to stay in the hospital. I've been stable long enough to know that. And to know that it doesn't necessarily mean someone is in good condition, but merely treating water. On the upside, stable is much better than critical condition. At least she is not on the brink of death. Stable. That's a relief.
Yes, this means that I won't be here for Hanako's birthday.
Oh God.
I wanted to tell you now so we could think of something before we told Hanako. But after today's events, I'm not even sure if there's going to be an issue if we simply cancel the party.
I don't think that is such a good idea. Hanako already knows that we are planning a party now. To go back on that seems like the wrong thing to do. Also, we should do something for your going away, right?
Make it sound as if I won't be coming back. If all goes well, I should only be away for a week, though possibly 2.
That's one relief at least.
With that in mind, what do you suggest then?
Given the circumstances, I don't think karaoke is really appropriate. You're not going away for the greatest of reasons, so having too much fun would feel wrong. What did you do for her birthday last year?
Last year, I literally couldn't get her out of her room. She locked the door. All I could do was leave food outside for her, making sure that she was at least eating well.
This is perhaps the most depressed I've ever seen and heard Lily act. I feel sorry for her, given how defeated she must feel to be unable to help her closest friend. Oh God, don't tell me that the accident happened on her very birthday. That she lost maybe her parents in a fire on her birthday, caused by the birthday candles on her cake by some stupid accident.
Perhaps it would be...
Oh no, this is Hiso. Perhaps it would be better to throw the party before you leave then?
That does sound like it would be the easiest option.
I think we should at least tell Hanako, both about your trip and her party. I have her things from class as well.
It's a good point. Should we go and visit her now?
I think that would be a good idea. Part of me is dying to see Hanako. The last time I saw her, she looked like death walking, and these last few hours have torn me apart just thinking about that. We quietly get up and file out of Lily's room. Hanako's room is next door in the same hallway. Knocking lightly gets us no response, but her door proves to be unlocked. Lily pauses for a moment as the handle unexpectedly moves under her hand before opening the door. Hanako's room is startlingly bare and monotone. There are no decorations on the plain white walls, a plain dark blue blanket, and only a few books, papers, and purely utilitarian items on the shelves. Even her bed sheets are monochrome. The entire room feels as subdued as Hanako's character. Hanako herself is laying curled up on her bed. She may not be crying now, but her eyes are closed tightly to stop herself, and the tracks left by her tears still sit on her wetted cheeks. I quietly walk in and set her back down on her desk, afraid of startling her too much.
Hello, Hanako. Iso told me about what happened today. Are you alright? Con.
Only this is Hanako's eyes open, though only a little. This is not a little in my book, but she looks so beautiful, and yet it pains me to see her.
I'm okay.
Oh god, her eyes go bigger even. She tilts her head slightly to look at me, noticing my grimacing before I can hide it.
Sorry for making you worry. Really, I'm fine now.
She really doesn't look nor sound okay, though at least she seems more calm than she was before. She still looks as if the slightest breath could emotionally break her.
I said it before, White. You don't need to be sorry for this. Iso's right. I shouldn't have hidden something like a birthday celebration from you.
I see Hanako shiver at the word. Lily picks up on the silence that follows and crouches down to Hanako's level.
I'm the one who should be sorry, Hanako.
Hanako's eyes open to peer at Lily. She looks at Lily for some time, taking in her face with those dark, analytical eyes of hers. Lily must have made the right impression on her, as Hanako recovers enough to prop herself up on the bed and shift to sitting on its side. Hanako worries about many things, but troubling others is foremost among them. I think before we go way too into this, I'm going to leave this episode here. I will hopefully see you then in the next one as we progress in this, hopefully, and get a nice outcome. Stay tuned for the next episode.